and a caring mother. Growing up, I did not know the whereabouts of my parents. My family thought it best if I wasn't told until I was old enough to understand. So one day, after school at the local internet cafe, I googled my parents' names. What I found shook me to the core. I remember it as I walked home that night with my sister in tears. She explained to me that the country I'd grown to love and appreciate was not as safe as I thought it was. She told me that our country was in political shambles, as simply as an 8-year-old can comprehend. When I demanded an explanation, even she couldn't say why. I fled Eritrea with my grandmother in 2009 because there was no future for me there. I don't want to say that anymore. I still don't know how to cope with my story. The other day someone asked me, how does it feel? How do you deal with what happened to you? I didn't know how to answer. This is my life. I don't know any different. It's not coping. It just is. I'm here today to be the voice of my parents and the thousands oppressed. This is a story about human rights abuse, but it's also the story about a family. My family. And how the rights of my family members were violated. Every family in Eritrea has the same story of abuse at the hands of an unelected government. And I only pray that it ends before more people die trying to escape or survive the prison that Eritrea has become. Thank you for your time.
She wants to thank everybody for giving her the opportunity to speak.
Aster,
Aster is kids. I'm the grandfather. Her mother left them when she was 2 years old. She's been taking care of them since she was 2. Her and then her Zebrahan when he was 4 years old, I think.
قدم أستير قدم بعضيتها تأشيرو تحريقو دك أخذ حريلا بتمرتي وزعب النيرة بحريقو دك أخذ حريلا نير سرانتيا أبي أكبر فتاني حوم كيرينايا سقع زي دهايا نركب.
She was here at first, their mother. Then she came back to Asmara to take care of the kids, and then after that they arrested her at the airport, and they haven't seen her since then. She went twice to jail to talk to them to allow the kids to visit the jail, but they warned her that she should never come back here again. For about a year and 6 months, they didn't know where they took her. They haven't visited her at all. After that, she wrote a letter to the president's office, and she has not gotten any response at all. And anyway, she hasn't got any response from the government or anybody else. She has no idea where her daughter is, which is the mother of the kids that are here. She wants to thank you all for giving her the opportunity to speak, to hear her voice. Thank you.
In Eritrea, Mr. Haile Woldensee. Who is Haile Woldensee and where he is now? Haile Woldensee, identified by his colleague as Duro, was one of the founders and former liberation movement leaders of the so-called Eritrean People's Liberation Front, created in the early 1970s to free the country from foreign rule, oppression, and the right of self-determination for the Eritrean people. He, along with his colleagues, played a part and contributed in all aspects of the struggle to ensure Eritrean independence. As a result of the hard work and highest sacrifice of the Eritrean people in general, and people like my brother, Eritrea got its independence in 1991. Because of this, my brother Haile, currently the political prisoner, will be remembered by history as a national hero forever. After Eritrean independence, my brother Haile continued to serve his people and the nation as one among the top government officials in Eritrea. First, from 1991 to 96, he was the Minister of Finance and Development, and later on, from 1997 to 2001, he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Eritrea. During this period, he played a decisive role in the national building process and the institution of the rule of law in Eritrea. As a brother, I am indeed very much proud of him, and definitely history will remember him for that too. Post-independence, the political landscape in Eritrea has started to change with time. Many democratic elements within the political organization resumed their critique on the system of carefully circumscribed one-man rule led by the current president, Isaias Afwerki. This situation was further aggravated by the actions of the president, who continued to postpone general election even after the ratification of the constitution by the parliament. The government continued to use border dispute with the neighboring countries as a pretext for not implementing the constitution, curbing human rights and civil liberties. Many Eritreans from inside and outside opposed the situation. My brother Haile was among them. Haile, with his colleagues, top government officials and former liberation leaders, identified with what became known as G15, put their critique over the president. This one-man rule and the direction he was leading the country to. Everybody, including these prominent political leaders, knew precisely what was in store for them: their arrest and indefinite detention. My brother and his colleagues were not afraid of their arrest and detention. Hence, they preferred to pursue with the issue they put forward. I believe that my brother Haile and his colleagues have done nothing wrong. They made a call for correction, a call for peaceful and democratic dialogue, a call for implementation of the constitution, and other moves towards political democratization. The group also called for strengthening and consolidation of the Eritrean government and people, a call for national unity and the rule of law and justice through peaceful and legal ways and means. Unfortunately, a democratic resolution of the problem was denied, and all the top government officials and former liberation leaders, including many others who are considered as supporters of the peaceful movement, were arrested and put for indefinite detention. Following the arrest of the reformers, the government in Asmara shut down all the private press and imposed severe restriction on freedom of speech, press, assembly, association, and religion. The government in power is now characterized by dictatorship and militarism. Recently, President Barack Obama in addressing a conference on human rights called Eritrea, the North Korea of Africa. The aim of this intervention, my intervention, is not to unveil the wrongdoing of the government in Asmara. I am not affiliated with any political organization. A lot has been written and spoken about it, but credibly and well known by organizations and individuals. The aim is to shed light on what has happened to my brother and his family, as well as to share with you the painful experience the family has encountered and continue to do so since his arrest. I strongly believe that anyone, no matter who he is or what he did in the past, should be accountable for his deeds. But this should be done via due process of the law. Nevertheless, my brother was taken to prison in the middle of the night on September 18, 2011. He has not been seen. 2001, sorry. September 18, 2001. He has not been seen, heard, or accounted for since. He was not formally charged with any crime, nor he was followed, nor he was allowed a day in court to defend himself. Worst, nobody knows where he is, to the extent whether he is alive or dead. Family members, namely his mother, wife, children, brothers and sisters, haven't even gotten access to see him or talk to him since then. No outside observer has been able to inquire about him or know his current condition. The action of the government is totally against human rights. I believe this is a total violation of the basic human right. Everyone is clean until proved guilty by the law. Prior to his arrest, my brother was suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure and was under close doctor's follow-up. Today, if he is alive, nobody knows whether he is getting proper treatment or care. But for obvious reason, everybody believes that he has no access to a doctor and get appropriate care or medication. And here again, I believe this is a violation of basic human rights. Thank you for your attention.